everybody, this is Chad the Gaming Dad here, once again with another episode, and today we're going to be talking about satisfaction and disappointment, specifically when it comes to Yakuza 6 and God of War. So last week was a huge week for most of us, especially for me, because two of my all-time favorite franchises had another game come out. We're talking about Yakuza 6 and God of War. So let's start off with Yakuza 6, the portion of this video which is basically taking care of the satisfaction side of things. Okay, Yakuza 6 is not as good as Yakuza 0. This is Yakuza 6. It's a very good game. Awesome. In fact, this one that I got comes with it's like a book, and you open it up and the game's actually in my PlayStation right now, but it's got a bunch of artwork and everything in there. It's super cool. Absolutely awesome. So happy that this finally came out and that I can continue. Remember that word. Continue the story of Kiryu and what happens to him and Haruka and the kid. This one has a kid in it too. So I'm playing Yakuza 6 and it's a great continuation of the story. Familiar characters. It's further along in time. He's supposed to be older. There's a lot more things going on, and the game isn't exactly the same as the other games in the series, but it's familiar. The reason why we buy into series and the reason why we buy into franchises and stuff like that is because there's something about them that we really like. Now, there's some new things in Yakuza 6. Definitely some new things, and also some crazy, weird, strange things. Exactly what you would expect from Yakuza. I mean, if you don't see some weird crap going on in that game, it's not a Yakuza game.
Oh no! Kiryu-san, 完璧ですよ. 間違いない. あなたこそが
Wait a minute, did I say Yakuza game? You mean there's something that constitutes a type of game? We'll get back to that in a minute. So yeah, Yakuza 6, very happy with it. Like I said, it's not my favorite entry in the entire series, but it's a great entry in the series, and I'm so happy that I'm playing it. It's so much fun, you know? So that leads me into the other part of this video, the disappointment. Now, before I get into the disappointment of God of War, I have to say, number one, that if you like God of War, I'm happy for you. I'm glad. In fact, I'm starting to like it the more I play it. But this video, I wanted to put this out because there's a lot of other people out there who probably feel like I do, and maybe they didn't get it yet. I know everybody says they already ran out and bought it, but not everybody ran out and bought it yet. So I want to serve this as sort of a warning, because there's so many 10 out of 10s. I believe it's kind of the mob mentality that we get when it comes to video games anymore. Yes, there are some games that deserve all the hate that they get, and then there are some games that deserve all the love that they get. But then most of the games are somewhere in between. Like, there's very few games that are 0 out of 10 and very few games that are 10 out of 10. Most of them are in between somewhere, but every now and then you'll get a game that everybody decides they're going to hate, or a game that everybody decides they're going to love, blindly. I haven't hardly heard any complaints or downsides to God of War. So, I'm not saying that anyone's been paid off or reviewers are corrupt or anything like that. I just think that somehow, some way, a game just gets into a status or gets into a spot in people's mind that this is going to be a good one. So 10 out of 10, you know? So anyway, like I said, if you like it, great. But since I haven't heard hardly anything out there saying anything isn't great about this game, I thought I would mention a few things just so you know. So God of War, before I get into the new God of War, God of War has a long history. In fact, I have many games of God of War right here. Got all kinds of God of War. In fact, I even went and picked up this one just because. I really like God of War. And going all the way back to the beginning, the reason why everybody liked God of War was because the way that they did it. They came across with like anger and fury and rage and all kinds of things. I mean, you were ripping heads off. You were battling giant beasts. It was like a superhero movie that you were playing. And Kratos was the ultimate superhero. He didn't care about anyone. He didn't care about anything.
Thank you! Thank the gods you came back for me!
I didn't come back for you.
He was ruthless. Ruthless. Right? To me, God of War always meant it was a holy shit kind of game. Very gory, bloody, vicious, and sexy at times. You know, Kratos had his women. Everything was in this game. Kratos was the ultimate masculine character. He was like the man's man, ultimate man. Right? But it seems like nowadays, in our politically correct world and all this other stuff, that's not a good thing anymore. Being a manly man is under attack. And so what we get is what we get. This is the softer side of Kratos. Kratos' softer side. Yes. Now, God of War, the new God of War, is not a bad game. It has some of the best visuals ever. It runs great. Almost no glitches. It's a very well-polished, well-produced game. Technically, it's a great achievement in gaming. It shows how good a single-player game can be and how relevant a single-player game without multiplayer can still be today, even though some believe we don't need single-player games anymore. This game excels on many, many levels. But for me, the one major thing that it forgot was that it was supposed to be a God of War game. I was talking about Yakuza. Yakuza 6 has different things in it, but it doesn't fail to be a Yakuza game. God of War does a few things different, and one of them is that they should have just changed the name, because this is not a God of War game. Put it in the stack. Put it in the stack with all these other games. God of War, God of War, God of War, God of War. Not really God of War. Yes, Kratos is in here, but he's hardly the Kratos that we knew. Gone are the hack and slash meters that would say brutal or gory kill and things like that. We get more of a cinematic feel to the game. Why does every game have to be cinematic now? I don't understand. Can't we have anything that's just sort of arcade action fun, just fun, video game fun, without having to try to be a movie? Anyway, some more changes that they made. The camera is right over top of Kratos' shoulder. Gone is the standard camera angle that lets you see everything that's going on, lets you see the giant scale of everything, lets you see where the other enemies are, by the way. Now you have a little meter on the screen that shows you where the enemies are coming from, but usually you're getting hit before you turn around and hit them because you're busy with the guy in front of you. Stuff like that. That's gone. The camera's completely different. There is no jump button. No jump button whatsoever. No double jump, swing, slash. None of that. It's gone. No jump button. All you pretty much get here is a heavy attack and a light attack. And then you can also have a shield and a couple other things, but it's quite different. The combat itself is much slower. Much slower. And worst of all, the thing that is the greatest annoyance of all in this new God of War game is his kid. My God, the kid. Atreus, I think. A travesty, whatever you want to call him. I see him as nothing more than the babbling Jar Jar Binks of this God of War game. Yes, that's right. He's just as bad as Jar Jar Binks.
Your support is well seen.
I mean, honestly, this kid never shuts up. I actually tried to throw my axe at him a bunch of times because I just couldn't take it anymore. And it's not that he just constantly speaks. It's that oftentimes when he speaks, he'll just blurt out the solution to a puzzle that you're working on. One of those environmental puzzles where you have to hit certain buttons or throw your axe at things.
Are you gonna throw the axe into the trees?
Dude's just like, hey, why don't you throw it over there? I was enjoying trying to figure out the puzzle, kid. Shut up.
The tree with the white trunk and orange leaves. Right there on the other side of the bridge.
Shut up! I've yelled, shut up, at my TV more times than I care to count playing through the first few hours of God of War. So here's a little story for you. When I used to buy these God of War games, right, when I would pick up these God of War games, first thing I would do is I would come home, get myself all set, all comfy, get something to drink, get everything, because I wasn't moving for a while. I was going to be in this game. I would get my stereo ready to go, crank it way up, and I would dive into the latest adventure with Kratos. And we would dive in, and in like a James Bond movie, you know, when you watch a James Bond movie, the first thing that happens is this awesome action scene before they get into the rest of the movie. God of War always started off with a bang. Something was like, ooh, would grab your attention. It was crazy. There was always some sort of crazy boss or some sort of situation that you were playing. I mean, it was great. This game I put in, turned on the stereo, got everything ready, and I'm dealing with a funeral or something and walking through the woods with my kid, and he's crying because he shot a deer. What? Again, it's not a bad story. I'm not saying it's a bad story. It's just not a God of War game. Later on in the game, the kid stabs a guy that's trying to kill him, and then after you go over and you pull the bad guy's dead body off of him, the kid's crying again, and there you are, Kratos, the softer Kratos. It's okay, son. It's all right. Come on, guys. Come on. What are you doing to us? Oh, man. Again, it's not a bad story, and it's not a bad game. It's just not God of War. Are you understanding? Do you feel what I'm saying, people? It's not a God of War game. Many people are saying that they see a lot of The Last of Us in this game. That's because it is a lot like The Last of Us. People are saying they say Hellblade, the game Hellblade that just came out. There are parts of this game, some of the puzzles feel very Hellblade. Very Hellblade. Some people are saying that they see Horizon Zero Dawn in here. I see that a lot. There's a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn in here. Some people are saying they see Uncharted in here. There is a lot of Uncharted in here. And honestly, a long time ago, I did a first impressions video about Uncharted 4, another game that everybody was saying was a 10 out of 10. Also, not a bad game, a really good game, but to me, was much slower, much less action than most Uncharted games, and I could not stand his brother Sam. Sorry, don't like Sam. That almost ruined the whole game for me, that guy. But anyway, the big thing that I'm not seeing, once again, you're seeing The Last of Us, you're seeing Horizon, you're seeing Uncharted, you're seeing all kinds of things in this game, but what you are not seeing is God of War. That's what I'm not seeing in this game. So like I said, I just wanted to make this video to explain my feelings and thoughts on this thing. Once again, I must say once again, that my anger and rage, my Kratos-fueled rage, is not because God of War is a bad game. It's not a bad game. In fact, it's a pretty good game, and the more that I'm playing it and just accepting it for what it is, the shock of the fact that all the stuff that I was looking forward to being in there, most of it is not there. After I've gotten over the shock of that and I just accepted it for what it is, I'm starting to have more fun with it. But this God of War is just not a God of War game. I'm sorry. And honestly, there's no way I would say that this is a 10 out of 10 game. It's pretty cool and it looks great and everything, but 10 out of 10, no. Not at all. So anyway, I just had to get on here and get all that off my chest. It's been a good week. Even though God of War disappoints, it's still a pretty cool thing, and Yakuza 6 is here. It's been a very good week. But just like most parents, when they yell at their kids or when they get angry at their kids, the one that hurts the most isn't when you get mad at them and yell at them. No. God of War, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. Hey, thanks everybody for sticking with me and watching the entire video. I hope you liked it. The best way to help out the channel is to leave a like, leave a comment, and tell your friends. If you'd like to support the channel further, there are links in the description. But otherwise, always remember that you never outgrow video games. My name's Chad the Gaming Dad, and we'll see you on the next one. So long, everybody.